Monday Motivation. And here we are in September.
Wow.
Can't believe it.
That's crazy.
I know. Was it September last week too? Probably.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is fine.
But here we are in September.
But it was
here.
Labor Day last Monday. So we weren't here. This is our first Monday here in September.
Yeah.
So
true.
Mm-hmm.
So here we are. We're excited to have a new week.
Yeah.
Maria, we spent the whole weekend together, so I'm not going to ask you like we didn't. We got to hang out with some people that are awesome, like two of our interns. Some of you may know them. Shout out to Alicia for her 20th birthday.
Yes, yep.
She's one of our Youth Alive interns, and we got to hang out with big boy Matt Bressy as well. He's one of our interns. So that was awesome. They're amazing, as well as Caitlin, and you'll see them at convention this year. So yeah, we got to hang out with them this weekend. And that was nice. Beautiful. Went to the beach, everything.
Yep.
So today, if you saw the title, you'll know that we have a special guest with us. But before we get to that, we have just a few things we want to go over. So what are some of our announcements?
Yes, so first we want to say welcome to our new members. We have 3 new members. We have Shannon, Santa Stephen, Michael Healy, and Ashley Dans. So welcome to the party. Glad to have you here. And we have some youth pastors or some churches that are looking for youth pastors.
Yep.
We have Evangel Heights in Sarver, Harvest Church in Trucksville, Crossroads Community in Mechanicsburg, and Mount Morris in Mount Morris.
Yes.
So go ahead and reach out to Lee with your resume. If you are interested in any of these open churches.
If you know somebody that is looking, yeah, that'd be awesome. We have some more things coming up. Obviously, youth convention's coming. But we're going to save that one. Okay. So in September, we have a couple things. See you at the pole.
Yes.
Big deal. Awesome time to be public with your faith. We talked last week about how that's kind of like baptism.
Yes. Yeah.
And for whatever.
And that's on September 28th. We'll see you at the pole
at 7 a.m. at your flagpole. And also that
Restoried
is
September 24th, but registration for that is already closed September 8th. So, and they're not doing any walk-on registration. So if you missed it,
you missed it.
So sorry.
But we heard a couple of you are going. So excited. If you're going, link up with Lee. We'd love to hang out with you guys there. Okay, so convention's coming. That is our big announcement for the day. I can't believe it's in less than a month now.
Yeah.
I know so many of you are scrambling and you're preparing and doing all the things. You know, I run Penndely Youth socials. So I see like all of you guys posting all of your
we're coming, we're going.
Yeah, so I'm excited, but I also know some of you have posted about it, but you haven't registered yet. So we have a really big announcement because we, as you know, the deadline for housing has passed.
Yes.
But
or so you thought.
Because Kalahari gave us a golden ticket.
They gave us an extension for booking rooms. So our hard deadline earlier was September 10th, but they gave us an extension until September 15th to book rooms. So if you have not booked your room yet, you need to make sure you go on to penndelyouth.com/convention, scroll to where it says housing, and there's our link for our room booking passkey. You need to click that, book your rooms as soon as possible. You have until September 15th.
And today's the 12th. So
so get on it.
But that is exciting. I know some of you, maybe you didn't get a chance to do it yet and you're bummed, but you have a couple more days to finalize things and get to convention.
Yes.
We're really excited. I know this year's going to be amazing. We have some surprises that we're going to be announcing in the next few days. But one thing I really want to say and get in your brain is that the late night game show this year, all new, is going to have a theme. And it's going to be a theme we hope will continue from year to year. And it's going to be, do you remember what it is?
I remember what it is.
Me too.
Mascot Mania.
And so what we're going to say, we're going to put an announcement out this week, but we need all your youth groups to come dressed in all of your craziest outfits.
Yes.
And it's going to be kind of Price is Right-ish. So you never know if you're going to be chosen to participate in this game show. And it's also going to be like parts where youth groups can participate, but also singular students that are chosen out of the crowd. So be sure that you're going to start advertising to your students, get a crazy costume ready because they could be chosen to be part of Mascot Mania, the late night game show experience.
Yes. And tickets for that can be purchased as with your registration. If you go to penndelyouth.com/convention, you can find all information, registrations, media downloads, whatever it is. It's all on there.
And that is hosted by Jay Hollenbeck and Jake Kelly. So you know it's going to be top notch.
Yes.
Chef's kiss.
And one last reminder for convention, regular registration rates for like your group's passes ends September 21st at 11:59, and then it will move to that late registration rate, so it'll go a little bit up in price, and that late registration will be from September 22nd all the way through to convention. So if you want to get the lowest rate possible,
and if you want to pre-order t-shirts, because you cannot order t-shirts after the fact. So after that, the price goes up for t-shirts that are purchased at the event.
Yes.
If you haven't taken a look yet, the picture of the shirt is on penndelyouth.com/convention. Had a couple people asking how they can get a little preview of the shirt. So that's coming.
Yes.
That is coming up quickly.
Those are all of our announcements for the week, but we have one special birthday this week. Well, at least that we know of.
Yeah, one that we know.
Yes. And we want to wish a happy birthday on Wednesday to
the one and only
Jason Sherry,
Bible Quiz King.
Yes. So happy birthday on Wednesday to you.
Yes, Jason Sherry, awesome. And where's Jason? He's down at Kinport, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Awesome. Amazing. Yes. Okay. So we have a lot of big changes going on at Pendel, as you may have gathered.
Yes.
First, obviously, Lee is transitioning to a position in national, and we're waiting to see what happens with the DYD situation. We know that is in the very capable hands of Pastor Don Immel and the Presbytery. We don't know anything, so stop asking us. Literally, we know the same as you. But we're really excited. We know that change is going to be exactly what God has planned. Yeah. But as you know, we also have some other changes. So today we're introducing our new fine arts coordinator extraordinaire, Rosina Albanese. So everybody, welcome, Rosina.
Hi.
Rosina, you may have noticed she has a very similar last name to someone else sitting in front of you on this call. So
this is my sister.
Yeah.
Rosina is Maria's sister. Yeah. Okay. So, Rosina, give us a tiny little bio about yourself. What should everyone listening to this podcast, watching this live, what should they know about our new Pendel Ministry Network Fine Arts Coordinator?
Well, I was going to start off with like my true confession that Maria is my sister, but hopefully hopefully throughout this year and the coming years, you guys realize that I'm not in this position because she's my sister, but because I truly love fine arts and the ministry that fine arts is.
So this is not a nepotism situation, is what you're saying.
I hope not.
It's not.
And I hope everyone else thinks that it's also not. So, Maria and I are PKs, so don't hold that against me. But I like to think I'm like a quote unquote good PK. Like my big rebellious phase was attending Oral Roberts University instead of an AG school. So hopefully you guys can forgive me for that too. But I live in a Pittsburgh suburb. I do real estate for my career right now. And I also am involved with Bible quiz on a national level. And so I was trying to not go into question too. I guess I could. Korinne sent me the questions because I was a little nervous, you guys. The stage fright like never goes away. So the next was tell us your history with fine arts. And I did fine arts all throughout middle school and high school. And I ended up doing fine arts with two separate churches throughout my career. And so I understand being the only person from your church that does fine arts and having to kind of go it alone. And I also understand what it's like to be in a church that has weekly practices and resources and is very, very competitive. So hopefully if you have questions or want to talk about anything like that, I understand the full spectrum of what it's like to do fine arts at any sort of church, whether you're kind of going it alone, or whether you are planning on having practices and a more structured fine arts schedule for your students.
Awesome. So, Rosina, tell me, what about fine arts excites you the most? Like, what are you so most passionate about fine arts?
So I love fine arts because I think that I'm like looking off because I'm like really in my brain. So I love the entire motto of fine arts, discover, develop, deploy, because I really do think that that students, especially this generation of students, is like ready to rise up and to lead. Like they're ready to go for it. And so I think that fine arts is an awesome opportunity, not only for the students to discover and deploy, but I then think that the church leadership, who sometimes overlooks students, is able to see, oh, wow, this student is doing these things for fine arts. And so it's a great opportunity and a great like specific reason for you to go to the church leadership and say, hey, I have these students who are singing or playing an instrument or doing a skit or working on a video, and can we highlight those in service? And I think that it's a really good way to help like negotiate a transition for the student to be, instead of helping in like kids church and youth group, to be helping in big church, and being able to use their gifts and getting used to using their gifts in and amongst adults as well. And I know that that's how it was for me, and I'm sure that that's how it is for lots of other students as well.
Yeah, that's awesome. I know that sometimes it can be like, oh, kids are not dedicated enough or whatever, but some of these kids that are doing fine arts, they're more dedicated than most of your adult volunteers, and they are passionate about deploying these giftings that they've been developing. So I love that. It really is a great motto or mission for fine arts. And sometimes, and we've talked about this on here a bunch before, sometimes that can get missed. That developing and the deploying part can kind of get missed. And so I love that that's part of your vision of fine arts, is that students would be using their gifts right now, not like sometime later or just on a missions trip, but they're utilizing their gifts to build up the church today. I love that. I think that's awesome.
Absolutely. And like you were saying about the enthusiasm, I think that like the excitement and the enthusiasm, when you go into something and it's new, oftentimes you're like ready to just like, let's do it. And I think that bringing in youth students is a fantastic way to re-energize some of those different ministries that your church may have, that people have been doing it for over a decade, and they just kind of get about it because it's just part of their routine. So bringing in some fresh faces can be an awesome way to energize everybody, because they bring back that passion and excitement and kind of light the fire under everyone to reignite the excitement for that ministry, whether it be worship team or something else.
Okay, so we said what the mission statement is of fine arts. Can you just, for those who are watching or listening who don't really know what is fine arts, I've never been to a church that does fine arts, what would you say in a nutshell? And this wasn't on your
I know, I was like,
sorry, I'm going rogue here. In a nutshell, what would you say fine arts is for a youth pastor that could take advantage of this program?
So fine arts, I would say in part, the name is a little intimidating because you're like, I don't have any students who are capable of fine art. Like it sounds so hoity-toity a little bit, but there are so many cool categories and opportunities. The easiest way to describe it, and like, don't tell Marie and Korinne I said this, but it's like a Christian talent competition almost. I know. I'm sorry, but that's like the 3-word way to describe it. But truly, the heart and mission of this ministry is to discover gifts that your student may have, whether it's video production, music, drama, art, 2D art, 3D art, digital art, photography. I mean, there's even a specific category for phone photography. And so it really is accessible to to anyone who wants to participate. So we have discover our gifts, develop them. And so you are presenting one thing for your category as your kind of showcase. But ultimately, the heart of fine arts is that you are digging into that gift and that you are doing different things, taking a lot of pictures so you can find that one special picture. You know, learning how to search for a song to sing, or, you know, whatever it may be, so that you really are, you know, discovering and developing that gift. And then the last part of it is to deploy. And so the heart of it is not just to present your showcase at fine arts. It is that you are taking those gifts that you have discovered and that you've cultivated throughout the year and going into your home church or an outreach and ministry, and that you are using those gifts to further the kingdom.
Yeah, awesome. And it's, if you're unsure about participating in fine arts, you don't even know where to start, there's a rule book that comes out every year, lays out every single thing. You shouldn't really have too many questions, but if you do, you can always reach out to us and to Rosina to get some clarification on that, and even how to start. But coming up here, we're going to start having some forms available and information online on penndelyouth.com, where you can always find everything. But Rosina, we know that there's also some youth pastors who've been in the game for a while and maybe have a little bit of a bad taste in their mouth about fine arts. For some people, their experience with fine arts has been very competition driven instead of discipleship driven. And we know that you have some things in your mind and you're dreaming about that you'd like to see take place with Pendel Fine Arts specifically to help change that culture. So what would you say you're looking forward to with Pendel Fine Arts?
Yeah. So, well, one of my dreams that is, you know, likely not maybe going to be a this year thing, but I have a heart and a plan to see it in the future, is to incorporate different workshops into the Pendel Fine Arts Weekend, so that we are able to do campus missionary workshops, and, you know, different workshops that are useful to your students, even if they're not fine arts participants at all, that they can come to this and receive great things. And we have so many really cool people in the district. We have a you know, dance studio owners, and Miss America contestants, and we have American Idol finalists, and like people who are like, anyone would say, oh my gosh, that's so cool that you got to hear that person speak. And so I want to be able to search through some of those really cool talents and have them host workshops throughout the weekend, so that your students, you know, and that's another level of developing that gift that they have an interest in, so that, you know, we can further the mission of fine arts and have it be not just solely competitive, but that we really are focusing on the develop, discover, deploy.
Yeah, and I think with fine arts it's hard to completely separate the, like, as you said, talent competition thing, because you are advancing to another level or not. But really, it's not supposed to be a competition. It's really supposed to be, how can I become the best version of myself with the gifts that God has equipped me with, and develop those giftings, and stretch myself and learn in the process. One of my favorite parts of fine arts is like the group categories. You really learn how to be a team player or not, or you know, what is helpful in a group. and I will say, I did fine arts from when I was 6th to 12th grade, and religiously every year. I loved it, and it really helped me be who I am today. Like, I'm not afraid of public speaking anymore, but I used to hide behind my mom, I will say that. But yeah, I will say personally, I was really formed through fine arts a lot. So I'm a fan, but I also see there's some things that it's interesting to work through students with, and really an opportunity to disciple, rather than just say, hey, go try this, we'll see what happens, you know?
Yeah. And of course, there, you know, when you involve humans, there will be a level of error, because unfortunately we're not perfect. And so the people who are evaluating are not going to be perfect. And, and sometimes they're having a bad day, or your student may have a bad day. And so there is so much hurt that can come through not making it onto the next level. If you and your student feel like, man, that was such a good presentation, but they had to run over from lunch and they didn't get time to calm down, whatever it may be.
It's such a reminder that's real life and that happens in life.
Exactly. Like there are so many cool, like overcomer stories that you hear of people saying, well, when I was in high school, I did this and they thought I wasn't great, but now look at God, look at the development and I eventually was able to deploy. And there are really lessons that come from those things. And I think in part, competition can help us purify our motives. You find out what's really in your heart and your motives in those moments where you don't make it. Yep. And you can say, okay, why am I doing this? Yeah. And so it can hurt. And sometimes you can have that bad taste in your mouth, but ultimately I think it's a good way to help purify your motives and, why you are doing those things. Am I singing this worship song just so I can go to nationals and have a fun vacation? Or am I doing it because I know that I have a heart for the Lord and it ministers to others, and I'm doing it truly to worship him. So, yeah,
that's awesome. So Rosina, obviously one big change is that you are the new coordinator. And by the way, we will be honoring Michelle Campbell, who has served for over 25 years as our district coordinator at convention this year. So don't miss it. If you love fine arts and you love Michelle, definitely we'll be honoring her on Sunday morning at convention. But there's also some more changes coming. So Rosina, you want to tell us about the big change coming for 2022?
Yes. So the
2023.
I'm sorry, 2023.
Oh my gosh, you're right.
Can you believe it's about to be 2023?
I sure can't. So the big change for 2023 is that this year we are not going to have a sectionals competition. Everyone is going to begin their competition at the district's level. So
network.
Oh, I'm sorry.
We're having our network festival.
Network festival. I'm sorry, I'm old.
But that's a huge change.
Yes.
Because many of us are used to starting the whole process in February. Yeah. Well, now.
That's when
Yeah. And so so I'm not sure if everyone recognizes this, but like the vast majority of the country only has the network level. Sorry. The network level and the national level. And so Pendel was one of the few anomalies that added that extra level. And so, the youth committee did vote on this. And so this was not just like, hey, I'm going to
make some big changes.
Yeah.
Now that was decided before Rosina actually accepted the position.
Yeah, that's true. I wasn't going to say that, but yes, it was decided before I came in.
Don't come at her.
Yeah, so it's not my fault if you really love sectionals, but I think that this is an additional level to that discover, develop, deploy, because instead of working on 1 5-minute showcase from September to August or November to August, you're going to be able to shorten that timeline. And so you're going to have additional time to
do other stuff.
Find what you want to do. And so you're not going to have essentially an entire year dedicated to fine arts where nationals is in August. And then a month later, you're saying, okay, well, it's time to start back up again, because it's somewhat rare, and people are probably going to disagree with this, but it's somewhat rare to participate in an extracurricular activity that is nearly year round. And so
for 5 minutes.
Yeah, truly. So that's just a way to, alleviate some of that focus on one presentation, one showcase, and allow you to discover, develop, deploy in other ways in your local church.
Yeah, I think that's awesome. So, again, that network festival will be April 5th and 6th at the Buongiorno Conference Center. Just like back in the day, we're bringing back the 2-day fine arts. And we will have some other things that might go along with that, which will be announced later. But for now, get that on your calendar. April 5th and 6th at BCC. We're really, really excited for just stepping into this new season for fine arts. And again, it's just, and when something's new, it's a chance to look at it with a new perspective and figure out what works, what doesn't work, and what's going to be best for this generation right here, right now. I think Rosina is a great voice for fine arts right now. And Rosina, you have some more things that you're interested in. So just talk about that really quick for us.
Okay, so I am starting to talk with the national office about doing some Pendel exclusive categories, exhibition categories, which I am really, really excited about. So I'm like nervous to say it because I hope they'll come to fruition. So I have 4 kind of main exhibition categories in mind.
Why don't we not tell them?
Okay, we won't tell them.
But she has some really, really great thoughts, and we really hope that they're approved because I think that they would be amazing for students today. So just know Rosina has a great mind and heart for fine arts and for your students specifically. So yeah. Not to get anything confused.
I know. I'm like, I don't want to put anything out, and then
good call.
But yes, so I, am speaking with the national office about how we can bring those to light, and then hopefully, after a year or two of us doing it and seeing the amazing results, I know that our students will bring forth. Then, maybe the National Fine Arts can say, "Oh my gosh, Pendel has had some really cool." Things happen with these new categories and bring it to a national scale, because like when I was in high school 8 million years ago, then I know not that long ago, but when I was in high school, like 10 or 15 years ago, that's how worship dance started. I remember Pendel doing it as like kind of an exhibition thing. And then now it's an incredibly popular category at nationals. So hopefully we can continue to pioneer some of those things, and I'm really excited, you guys.
Yeah, that's really great. All right, well guys, that is our time today. So Rosina, will you please just pray over our youth pastors and leaders today, just for everything that they're experiencing, going through, and as this new season for fine arts is coming about?
Yeah. God, we come before you today, Father, and I just pray that you will bless every single one of these youth leaders, God, that you will just have your hand of provision and protection over each one of them, Father. I'm sure some of them may be struggling with where they're at, or struggling with mental health, physical health, Father. I pray that they through these times will be able to depend on you, God, and that you will give them the assurance that you will lead them through this fire onto the other side. God, I pray for everyone as we march forward into this coming year with fine arts, Father, that these leaders will be able to help their students discover their gifts, God, and work on mastery of those gifts for the bettering of your kingdom, Father, and that they will overcome any fear they have to move forward and to give those gifts to the members of our church family in order to praise you more. So I just pray for all these youth pastors, Father. Pray that you'll give everyone a good week, and we love you and we bless your name. Amen.
Amen. All right. Well, it's been so nice to hear from Rosina and to see all of you today. So until next time, see ya.
Bye.
Bye.